All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quaddie Poddy. Cashy, joined by Nick. Mate, just a phenomenal weekend of racing that's just gone past. A great weekend of racing as always when the Derby and Golden Eagle come around. Just let's jump straight into last week. I think there's only one real race to touch on.
Yeah.
The Cox Plate. We can unpack that for days, but what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was down in Narooma for a golf trip with a couple of mates, and we were punting most of the day. I had a pretty average day, honestly. A lot of second place, a lot of third place.
Oh, we were on the wrong side of a lot of photo finishes.
I think I had 4 or 5 of my tips that I just couldn't get in the end. But look, then it came to the Cox Plate. We sat down and watched it. I had broadsiding, and yeah, it didn't do as well as I probably thought.
Third, not too bad, but third by 10 lengths.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest runs. I think I said, was it Antino a couple of weeks back? I said was the best run I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I think Via Sistina takes that one pretty easily. I think that was crazy. He stood up with
100 to go.
100 to go and still won.
So many people have said in the last few years that was a Winx-like run. It was almost like Winx. They're the next Winx. Via Sistina shattered Winx's record. So this is the only run you can ever say that was Winx-like. That was insane.
When I watched it live, I heard them call it Winx-like, and I was like, I hate when they say that. I always hate because they do overuse it a bit.
They do.
And then I went back and watched it a couple of times. That's up there. It was crazy. I haven't seen a run like that. Who would have thought? Like we said, there was one or two things. That 5 laps at Moonee Valley was either perfect fitness going into the Cox Plate,
or
she'd fall on her face.
Yeah,
and she smashed it.
Is every trainer now just going to take a jockey off and just let it run full pace around the track? Yeah. You know what track work incident? Like it complete, like the whole drama leading up to it, and then in the end, it didn't even matter. And then as soon as she crossed the line, people were saying, "Yep, Melbourne Cup, here we come." We'll touch on that in a second, but just from the race perspective, I'm sitting at home on my couch, and as soon as Prognosis jumped with him and then sat right on prior to Jenni's tail, I was like, "Oh, this could be over here." Like he was looking good, and it took a freakish performance to beat him. At the 700, the 600, he looked like he was going to absolutely piss in. But then, out of nowhere, J-Mac just presses the button, she rounds him, and just absolutely sprints her guts out for 500 metres, stands up 100 metres out. Who knows what time she would have ran if he kept her going for the last 100 metres. But, that was so baller as well. Just 100 metres out, up, flexing the muscles, getting the crowd around it. It was nuts. And Damien Lane couldn't give him Prognosis a better ride. Again, he looked like he was going to shit him.
He still beat...
first 4 across the line still beat Winx's record.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Prognosis beat it, Broadsiding beat it, and unfortunately the not a 2,000 metre horse, Brightside, beat it as well. But look, don't come up with that argument anymore. 0 from 7, maybe he does get 2,000 metres. He just doesn't win at 2,000 metres. Just don't back him at 2,000 metres. Maybe he can get the trip, but he's just going to keep running into one better, is he not?
No, he is. You've seen it time and time again. But yeah, crazy race, crazy day. Would have liked a couple more winners on the day in the end, I think.
Oh, it was a great day, but just it could have been an all-timer. We lost 3 photo finishes. The Quaddie League at the end was a heartbreaker. I thought Townsend was going to hold on for you, and that would have been a nice win for the Poddy, a fantastic win for the Quaddie. But we snagged Mad Darcy early on, and that was the only win at Randwick in the end. Randwick just kept kicking us in the balls.
Yeah, I was pretty confident on Lentia as well going into that race and didn't let down Zugotcha as well. Both of the
Zugotcha's gone for the spring. I don't think she'll run again, but if she does, you just can't be backing her off the last 2 starts. Hopefully bounces back in autumn.
Wait and see, I guess.
Another thing coming out of the Cox Plate, prior to Jenni, was she gassed or was it just that figured her out, or is it a combination of both?
I think they're definitely getting closer to her now in terms of figuring out what they can't let her do. I think she really needs the race to work in her favour for her to win it, and the last 2 probably haven't gone. I didn't think they raced her out of the game that much at Moonee Valley, to be honest, on last weekend.
I think because look,
I thought the Major Bill was a lot worse than that.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't think that I still felt like she could control the tempo of the race when no one was really, like they were pushing her a little bit, but not to the same extent that we saw Major Bill do the week before. And she just went backwards. She came last, I think, didn't she?
I think she dropped out to second last. It was, I think it's a combination of that King Charles race, gassed her. I don't think you'll be seeing many horses do a King Charles back up into Cox Plate. Maybe there needs to be some restructuring of those two races to see, King Charles become a stepping stone, or maybe it just wants to become its own standalone grand final race. Just horses won't be trying to do the backup because she was gassed. She, got gassed by Major Bill. She had to do the week back up across 2 states, across 2 different distances. She finally got to step up to that 2,000 and then just couldn't hold on in the end. But I do think there's a big reason, Royal Patronage being in that race, pestering it, Evaporate pestering it, Prognosis, not letting it out of its sights. I think that's a big reason why she faded as well. I know that there's the whole, was she gassed? Was there enough petrol left in the tank? But I do think that most trainers and jockeys have figured her out. If you let her get out to that 10 lengths, you're not going to catch her because she's going to start to fade, as we've seen the last few times she's done that, but you just won't have the kick to get there. Yeah. You might fall 2, 3, 4 lengths behind her, but if you keep her and pressure her within that 4 or 5 lengths, when she starts to tire, you're going to get her. Chia Wolf got her, and then we saw on the weekend just about the whole field got her in the end. But again, maybe she just came the end of her prep, but she hasn't been sent for a spell yet. She's still listed as active, so she could pop up on Champions Day in either the stakes or the mile, who knows. Brightside's dropping back to the mile. Fangirl's going down there for the mile as well, but Via Sistina pushing on to the Champions Stakes instead of the Melbourne Cup. I'm cheering because I tipped her at $9 earlier in the spring, but
goes into like $1.80 now.
Yeah, and now I thought she was going to start $2, $3. I said on that podcast, she's $1.80, probably starts $1.50 on the day, depending the horses that go there. But do you think that was the right choice, or would you have rather seen her in a Melbourne Cup?
For the story, I don't think you get many horses that can do stuff like that, and you would have loved to seen it for the sport. But I think Waller's probably thinking Buckaroo's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I reckon he thinks he's got enough horses in there to win.
I think that's what he's thinking. He's trying to get as much money as he can, really.
But also, it's also not up to him. The owners can pressure him for it, but look,
that might be one too much, especially with the.
That's what I'm thinking.
We could be wrong as well because we almost said that last time. So
they say it's the weakest field we've had in a while for a Melbourne Cup, so this will be the only real chance that she gets to have a red hot crack at it. J-Mac said she'd stay. Damien Lane said she'd stay. Waller said, yeah, she probably would get the distance, but we're also aware that she's got at least 12 months at the top of her game before we even see a slight regression from her. That's his belief. So I'm of the attitude that it's good that they're not risking her because, yeah, amazing. She could come out on Tuesday and absolutely piss in, smash them at $3, and the whole country gets around her and she's a legend forever. But I like that they're potentially taking a Winx-like approach. Bubble wrap her, send her to the races that you guarantee she's going to be running good in. She's always going to be at 100% instead of risking at a trip that's, untested. She's never gone past 2100, and when she did go to 2100, I believe that was her worst run of her career by far over in Europe. So what's better? The chance that she actually does stay the trip and smashes it in, or she doesn't stay the trip, she bottoms out to a very embarrassing last place, and then she's gassed and she's never the same horse. Arguably, Very Elegant was never the same after her amazing Melbourne Cup win. She still stuck around for a little bit, but then, as we saw, she regressed heavily off it because you need a big break off that 3,200. So now she maybe goes to Hong Kong to meet Romantic Warrior. That would be epic. I even think that's a better story than seeing her go to the Melbourne Cup because that's one hell of a showdown.
Yeah, fair enough.
And yeah, I think the only other really thing to touch on out of last week was Barrack Wheel. Really looks like a horse that's just come out of nowhere. Think about it, like just rising through the grades, and now is a real red hot chance in a champion stakes, a proper Group 1 sprint. Could potentially be winning it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a chat about it in a little bit. It's in the tip-off, isn't it?
No, that's
next
this
week
time
still.
next week. But we've gotten some mail. He's 99% chance of heading there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is a red hot chance. He's just come out of absolutely nowhere. He smoked them.
I love horses that do that. It's always a good story to see, like, you're incentivized and think about it, like you said, that have come out of nowhere and they just win the graded races and they make their way up and then they're at that Group 1 level. It's always good to see.
And he's old as well. Like, people would think because he's come out of nowhere, he must be, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to double check just so I don't make a fool of myself. Yeah, he's 6. He's 6 years old and he's only had 8 starts. He's won 6 of them. And all of a sudden, he could come out and become one of the country's top sprinters if he wins that Champions Sprint.
Fair enough. It's pretty cool.
All right, mate. Should we head to the hotline?
Yeah, let's go to the hotline.
Right. We have only got a couple of them today. Let's get it started. No shower bets this weekend. He didn't get in time, which is crazy. But this one's from Loch Wilding.
Can we get an opinion on Keris Teaton's ride during the Cox Plate on Evaporate, missing the jump, trying to lead, sit 3 wide with Jenni? I think it's destroyed the horse, to be honest with you. I'd be spewing if I was an owner.
Thoughts?
I think it was a lot of racing to a plan there where I think, first of all, horse doesn't jump out of the gate. I don't think jockey has a lot of control of that. I feel like that's a little bit, sometimes you just get it with the horse. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I haven't ever ridden a horse, but from what I've seen, I wouldn't say it's jockey based, what I would assume. Look, they were probably just trying to stay as close as they could to Jenni, where they were pushing Jenni enough to stop her from winning by 10 lengths. So
also sets up Brightside coming to swoop from the same camp.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of team camping that goes on, like team comms that go through this race, and it doesn't help. But I highly doubt it was ever really winning it. But I do see your argument where if you were an owner, you'd be spewing because that horse probably had a couple 100,000 in winnings to still get.
Yeah, and then faded to last. I would think if it smashed the horse, we've got to wait until autumn to see if it has or not.
Yeah. I don't know where that mail's from, if it is true or not, but we'll wait and see.
And this is from our good mate Pilko, Jack Pilkington. If it'll play for us, here we go.
Wide, not much.
Oh, there we go.
Hi lads, Pilko here. Barrier gods have bent us over on Saturday. But have no fear, we'll stand up straight because I think we can come up with a plan to get out of that sticky hole. There's plenty of speed drawn wide, not much drawn to the inside, and I think I'll find us a path to get a trail into the race. I'm going to sit down with Zach Waddick on Friday night at his place and go through the race and through the horse's prior runs. He's had a couple of sits on the horse to get to know him. We're still the best weighted horse in the race. We're the most progressive horse in the race, and so I wouldn't steer you away from tipping him. It'll be tough, but we'll give him his chance to win. And in fact, I challenge you guys to say right now that if Alabama State manages to win this race from barrier 22, the next Quaddie Poddy horse should be trained by Jack Pilkington. I challenge you to say that and stick to it. Because if he wins, we can go up to Magic Millions in January and find another one. Probably from the same book, so it's not too expensive. And why not all the followers come along as well? Good luck, everyone.
It's an interesting challenge, mate, that he's laid down.
Oh no, I did send him a message earlier today, and he said he was going to just lay it all out for us on here. Look, this is a very big if our financials for me and you are working well, and this horse wins, and we have any say, and it's not too expensive for us, by all means, we will buy into a horse with you, Pilko. It's just
it's a matter of finding the funds because we are two broke 22-year-olds. But
if we win on the punt, we will. So we'll wait and see. Not a confirmed yes, but definitely something we want to do. I think it helps to know the trainer and have a chat and stuff. I know with our horses, we've spoken to Richie, and it's so cool when you can actually speak to them one-on-one. So if we can work with Pilko, that'd be hectic. I know that, and I know he likes us as well. So yeah, definitely not a no, mate. But if I think even if it doesn't win, I'm happy to explore that kind of look of it. If it depends. We're gonna see how we go.
Big depends. But speaking of horse chat, just a quick update. Our girl to sort Voluta, she is still
My girl.
Oh yeah, sorry, your girl is still ripping and tearing around Warwick Farm. She's getting stronger. She's getting bigger. She's getting smarter. They're wrapped with her. They're loving her progress. And my boy, October Star over here, he's still living it up in a paddock somewhere, just getting nice and fat and just enjoying his time out there. But as soon as he comes into that track, you just watch him. That weight will fall off. He'll get nice big muscles, and he'll be coming out and just absolutely ripping and tearing down the outside and getting some wins
Bro's
for
just
Cashy.
bulking.
Yeah, bulking season. All right, mate, take us to listener questions. I've seen a few of them. There's some really good ones. So if you only have to take a few of them, I'll be happy to see which ones you pick, because it'll be tough to sort through them if you're not going to answer them all.
Let me get it up here, guys. All right. Is Melbourne Cup becoming a forgettable race from, it looks like his name's Cooper. I personally think if you have that expectation, it means you're becoming more of a racing fan. That's what I think. I think it's such a casual race. You don't even look at it. It's the hardest one to tip. But if you're starting to notice it's becoming a forgettable race, that means that you're enjoying your racing throughout the year a bit more, and you're watching it more on the weekend, where it comes around, you're just like, oh, it's the Melbourne Cup. Whereas it doesn't have that initial bang Melbourne Cup if you're a bit of a casual watcher and you have a punt just on Melbourne Cup Day. That's what I think.
Yeah, look, I know there's been a lot of hullabaloo in the last few years of the Cup getting weaker and less internationals coming because of the vet scans, making all of these favoured horses scratched. Loft happened a couple years ago. Jan Bruegel just got scratched in the last couple of days, and there's a lot of outrage about it. And again, the last few years, I think for at least the last 4 years, they just keep saying, this is the weakest one we've ever seen. But at the end of the day, the scans, albeit disappointing, are necessary, because what would you rather? A horse gets scratched or a horse potentially break down, and then everyone and their dog jumps on the racing industry for the next 12 months and we just look bad. We need to promote racing. We need to make sure that we can get the media on side. They need to be on the back page. Cox Plate wasn't even on the back page of the Sydney paper. Whether that's because Peter V'landys wants them only promoting Sydney racing, whether or not that's the case, maybe. But come on. Like those sort of things. We need to be on the back page. We need to be at the front of the sports news. And it's not going to happen if the news is just, the only news is going to be horse welfare issues coming out of the Melbourne Cup. So it's disappointing. Are other races starting to take attention away from it? I will say yes, but the Cup survived for 150 years for a reason. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be the race that stops the nation. Will other races keep rising in popularity and get to a point where it's considered like a massive race? I say yes. We're already seeing it with Everest, but it's always going to be there. I don't think anyone's ever going to forget about it.
From Hitcho, do you both want to pursue jobs in the racing industry?
I'll let you answer that one first.
It's not something I'm opposed to. It's kind of going with the flow for now. Maybe sports is kind of where I want to go into, and horse racing does entail into that. So if it works out and it's the right decision and I get offered something, or if I apply for something that makes sense, then I won't rule it out. But I'd say sports is in that category as well. So sports for me, but horse racing also falls into that, where I wouldn't mind a career in that because it's something I enjoy.
Yeah, I'm the same. Big sports in general guy. I would love to get into sort of sports media. So if I'm going to be working in racing, it'll be in the media. You won't find me mucking boxes out at 4 a.m. out at Randwick, that's for sure.
Yep. Royal 12 comedy for the Golden Slipper at 26. Fair enough, mate. Good enough.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Kirkham Plate rarely actually produces a Golden Slipper winner, but he was impressive. Let's see if he puts his head up in autumn. It all depends if they progress to autumn, these early 2-year-olds. Hayden isn't a question, but I've quit gambling after Pride Jenni's run. Look, I feel like there'll be a lot of people who are like that. A lot of people would have had a lot of money on Pride of Jenni, and they'll be very cranky that she came, almost last.
Where and when is Overpass going to run again?
Champions Sprint next week on Champions Day at Flemington.
Awesome. Is Derby Day the best days racing in the country? If not, what is? I honestly think Derby Day is up there with one of the best days.
It's up there. I wouldn't say it's the best though, because I would say Golden Slipper. There's like half the cards, all Group 1s.
Yeah.
And then
I can
I
back
would
that.
say the best would be Everest Day if Caulfield Cup falls upon it. If Caulfield Cup and Everest is on the same day, surely that has to be the best. It's two of our country's biggest races, all on the same day.
And plenty of ammo to win.
I guess we'll touch on that when we get to the preview.
Awesome. That's all the questions. Got through all of them, so good job.
All right, let's go into the Rosehill rundown. But before we actually touch on it, I just want to go on a little bit of a spiel here, mate, because I'm disappointed in the meeting. I really am. I know that this is the way it's always been for Golden Eagle. It's always been, 3 really, really good races, and then the rest of them are benchmark 78s. I get that. But is this not meant to be Sydney's second, maybe third biggest day of the spring? Is this not meant to be the second richest race on turf? Is this not meant to be, considered a big event that they want to pack out Rosehill? How are they going to do that if they're all benchmark 78s?
It's been like this for a while, man. I
was just really hoping for a bit of innovation coming into this year's one, and to add a couple more strong races. Doesn't even have to be big money pop-up races. Add a couple, restructure it a bit. Throw a couple listeds their way, maybe a Group 2 or something. But I would really like to see this be, Rosehill's version of the Everest. And it's meant to be. It's almost like, have you seen any promotion for Golden Eagle Day?
Nothing, to be honest. I got an email. That's about it. And
it's almost as if they want Rosehill to close. They have not promoted it one bit, apart from a couple of ads in the paper saying, yeah, come.
Yeah.
There's been nothing on social media until like a week ago. But Everest was promoted 6 months out. Buy your tickets. Golden Eagle hasn't been promoted.
It's so weird how they do it.
They've gotten... I've never heard of the guy they've got DJing afterwards.
Who is it?
Guy named Kyle, I think. I don't know. Have you...
Oh, is that the same guy that was at the Everest?
No, that was Joel Kyrie. It's a different guy.
I don't know who this guy
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
It's water off a duck's back, I think.
And then, again, the racing isn't as good as Everest Day. And the sad thing is they reckon they're going to make a big party day at Randwick post Golden Eagle. So maybe that'll even take some more shine off Golden Eagle and more shine off Rosehill. That because of how successful Everest is, they're thinking of adding a new pop-up race post Melbourne Cup, post Golden Eagle to extend the spring carnival.
Right.
And it's going to be at Randwick. They said we want another party day at Randwick to get people there.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Next year, I would love to see more innovation go into the Golden Eagle meeting and get more than just benchmark 78s.
It's because it's out west, though. You're always going to get a bit of a rougher crowd. They don't have your rich eastern suburbs people over here.
I don't know. Just give me something. But, we do have those 3 really good races to touch on later. We'll start with the highway. By the way, weather is fine. Track is going to be a good 4. I'd be shocked if anything else. And the rail's in the true position, so all horses should get their chances there when it comes to the track, but monitor track bias on the day. Highway, always tough to start the day. I'm going to be with King of Spades here at $7.50 to win, $2.50 to place. Draw on the first barrier, which should allow him to press forward and be right at the front or right on the tail of the leaders. Hopefully holds them all out and gets me off the day with a win.
Yeah, it's hard to go against you here, mate, but I will. I'll go Lambay. It's with Reece Jones, $6.50, $2.20 for a place. First up on the good track. Gets another 100 metres here, but it's the highway, so we'll watch that one pretty closely. Race 2, 1,300, benchmark 78. Like you said, we are covered with them today. Going pretty simple here. Going with Zach Lloyd for his horse here. How do I say that? Alapercanto?
Yeah.
Alapercanto? Yeah. $8, $2.40 for a place. Can't complain with it so far. Just had a rest, and it's had a couple trials in there as well. But, yeah, it's good track records, something that I can go with. 7 starts, 1 win, and then 2 each side of the minor placings. And then its first up record, it's had 2 starts in the placings. So I can't complain. I'm going to go with it here. So let's go.
I really like Mountaintop here. She's stepping back a bit in distance when her best work has been at the mile. So I will be really kicking myself if she wins, because I just feel like that step back in distance won't be as advantageous as another runner in this race, but do include in your exotics the stablemate, Pippi Beach, is a career specialist at this distance. All 3 career wins have come at the 1300, the last of which did have Yao Morera on board at the midweek, steps up to Saturday now. Hopefully he can go on with the job here at $5 to win. As we move to race 3, it's the 2,000 metre benchmark 78, wide open clash here. You got Faze Angels, State of America. They're pretty consistent horses. They'll probably be in the finish somewhere. Ambassadorial, your favourite, probably going to inject a bit of pace into the race, and probably that's the only way it's going to be able to win if it's able to blow them away on pace. But I prefer Greenbelt, who should be riding right behind that speed and hopefully sticks on for a place, if not win, at a nice price of $10 to win, $2.80 to place. Finally broke through and got a very much deserved win last start at the midweeks. Does have to try and beat United Kingdom again, who comes in here as the bottom weight with Karen McAvoy on board, who was just about to pip it there as they went through the line. But I'm going to be on Greenbelt.
Happy you mentioned it. I'm on it. United Kingdom, like you said, almost got that win last start. Extra 200 metres here will be very, very nice for it. What was it paying? $5.50 for the win. Race number 4, another benchmark 78, 1,300 metres here. Firestar is your favourite. I'm going with Ironman here, $4.50. Tyler Schiller on board. Last start came 6th, 1.3 lengths behind the pack. So not too bad. It's pretty hard this race day, but look, I'm going to go with Ironman.
Look, mate, couldn't have said it better myself. Considering the form behind Willardo, that'll come into play later with another one of my tips. $4.60. Ironman all the way for the mocks in race 4. We're going to skip race 5 because that's in the tip-off. And just before you go to the 6, just a quick reminder, if at any point you're watching this on the YouTube, give us a comment. Who do you think is going to win the Golden Eagle? You go in the draw to win a merch pack, thanks to our friends over at Dabble. Take us to the 6th, mate.
Race 6, 1,100 metre, another benchmark 78. I'm getting sick and tired of saying that. I'm not too sure who to go here. This is pretty tough for me. I'm going to go with a bit more of a price and go and Get Along here. Going to forgive its last run. Came 11th behind, well timed, but yeah, before that has been pretty faultless. $9, $2.80. Looks all right again here, so Get Along for me in the 6th.
Long-time listeners know exactly who I'm going to be on, and that is Dollar Magic. She's one of the most honest horses in the country. You'd love to own her. She doesn't get a lot of wins, but gee, she knows how to run a placing. Big $2.50 win, $7.50 place job here. The old 1 times 3 betting strategy when it comes to each way. More on the place than the win, but at $7 to win, $2.40 to place. She could definitely pop her nose out in front for a win here, but you can't say guaranteed a place because nothing guaranteed in horse racing, but gee, you'd be stiff if she somehow misses a placing here in this field, I reckon. So Dollar Magic for me. We skip races 7 through 9 for the tip-off, mate. Take us to the last of the day.
1,500, and you guessed it, benchmark 78 to end it. Pretty open race here. Quaddie killer, this is going to be, I think. It's pretty tough here. I think every single horse is under $20 except for maybe 1 or 2. I could battle this up for days. I'm going to go Mountaintop, Tommy Berry, Waller combo. It's won at the 1,600 before last start, come back down to the 1,500. It's had a pretty good preps this far, so Mountaintop for me, $6.50.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it because I did like it in that earlier race. So if it does scratch there and come here, I definitely think it's going to be a good chance. But I am going to be on Battleton here. Has the form behind Willardo, as I mentioned earlier, with Ironman. Unlike Willardo, though, who was a couple lengths off it, Battleton almost pipped it on the line there, really went up the inside there in the last on Everest Day and almost nabbed them. So yeah, I really like that form. $7 to win here, $2.30. Has a big weight, but hopefully just class shines through here and gets the job done.
Awesome.
All right, we head to the tip-off, and boy, oh boy, is it a busy one. We've got 7 races to look at, 4 at Rosehill, 3 at Flemington, and of course, when we get to the Golden Eagle, that will be a big runner-by-runner preview of all 20 horses. We're going to sort the pretenders from the contenders. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, comment below who you think's going to win, and you'll go straight into the draw to win a merch pack from our good friends at Dabble. If the horse does win, you'll get 5 entries. Just a comment gets you 1 entry. The entries have been flying in the last few weeks, and we'll be giving it away this Sunday live on our Melbourne Cup rundown. So get involved there. We'll start off with that famous race that the challenge has been laid down from Pilco, the 4 Pillars Midway, 1,500 metres, race 5 at Rosehill. Who have you got and why?
Yeah, look, I was going to go Alabama State. I was pretty confident, and literally until the barrier draw. Sorry, Pilco. If it gets up, I'll be absolutely hitting myself. But I'm going to come. It's going to come down to you didn't invite us to dinner with Zach Waddick at his house, so can't tip him here. But there's a lot of value to get, and I need some value to get me back into this tip off.
I'm only like 5-6 points in front of you, mate, and we've got about 14 races in the next 10 days. So
yeah, but this is
time.
This is my day usually.
Golden Eagle is your day. You love Golden Eagle Day,
man. That's what I'm saying. It's usually my day. I don't know how to say this. $13, $3.75. Piraeus, I think. Looks good for me. Just a better barrier for me, and I think it's a better horse going into this one.
Third behind Alabama State last start as well.
Yeah, so good enough form to go off for me. We'll have a crack here, so let's go.
I couldn't not go Alabama State, could I? I just, it's just that barrier. But if it gets
without the invite to dinner, I don't know.
If it gets a clear under the line, considering it's the best weighted horse in the race, it gets down to 55 kilos because Waddick's on its back. It's just that barrier. Like you think, it's got really good form. It's going to finish off the race well. If they go hard out in front and he's able to sit just off them, he'll probably fly home. $2.70 to place isn't bad as well. I'll take that, even if it's just a place. But hopefully Pilco delivers the goods for us there and gets us another win. The horse has served us well in the past. Hopefully we keep the good times rolling. We move into race 7, the Russell Balding Stakes. Terrible name, Sorrel Russell Balding, but I much preferred that when this was named after the previous year's Everest winner. And what a perfect time it would have been to be named the Think About It Stakes after the absolute resurrection we saw a week and a half ago. If any horse... Godlike resurrection. If we ever saw a race that deserved to be called the Think About It Stakes, it was this one. But unfortunately, we've got another administrator getting a race named after them. Nothing against you, Russell, but just Think About It Stakes would have been a better name.
Yeah, fuck you, Russell.
What are your thoughts on the race, mate?
Bella Nip looks pretty good here. I think it's going to be real tough to beat. There's only one that I'm going to look at to go elsewhere. Just to throw a bit of a rabbit out of the hat, it's King of Sparta here. It's real dry.
One of our old favourites.
Loves the dry, loves the good track. Ran pretty well behind Overpass where I thought did all right, where on a soft track where it doesn't usually do very well on a soft track.
And was out of the 17th barrier as well.
So King of Sparta for me, $10. This is going to be one of my points. But look, I'm pretty confident it comes in the top 3 anyway. So... I do think Bella Nip will be tough, real tough to beat. But King of Sparta for me for a bit more rough. Bit of rough.
Yeah, fair enough. A place does get you more points than it does for a Bella Nipotina win, but yeah, you just got to be with her, don't you? Why would I jump off her, considering I was on her for the Everest and she won so tough there? She gets better with every start, and she's 55 starts in, and she's somehow still at just the top of her game. She won this race last year, so you can't say that she doesn't get the 1,300 metres because... she knows how to get it done. You just think that she sits just off them. Doesn't have to sit 3 wide deep this race. But, I mean, she can do it if she wants to. $2.50, how do they beat her? I think they don't. Bella Nipotina all the way here. The Think About It Stakes.
I also didn't, I reckon she'll come in real, a lot.
You think on the day she'll get real short?
She'll get smashed. That's also why I didn't tip it.
That's a good point.
No, you can't change it.
No, I'm not going to change it. I'm just worried about points wise. But I still think she wins. She just gets it done. She's one of the ones where I don't care how short she gets. She's just going to win, in my opinion.
She's guaranteed top 3.
We'll skip race 8 because that's our runner by runner. We go to race 9, the Rosehill Gold Cup. I love this race. I usually pick the winner in this race. I'm a big 2,000 metre Rosehill guy. I've never lost. When I go down to the 2,000 metre start at Rosehill, I'm 6 from 6. I don't know what the boys are going to be doing, but if we head down to that start, I reckon I'm going to be 7 from 7 here. I'm really keen to bet into this race, mate. There's a lot of really good chances, 2 sticking out to me in particular. I'll let you go first, though.
I really like the favourite here, Relentless Voyager, to me. It looks really good. Obviously, these international horses coming over. Do I go it or do I not? The only problem that I'm really worried about is obviously the track conditions are a bit different over there than they are here. So, where was he running?
He's a British.
So they're good tracks. Could be a good 4 for there. Could be like a soft 6 for us. With the way that Australia, it's a bit hotter, it's a bit more firm. You see it with New Zealand runners all the time. It's the only worry for me. I think it's been really good other than that start. And look, I'll give it a go. I'll have a crack with it here. I'll go with it. Relentless Voyager for me. But it's the only query I have. Faulkner Park is one that I was also tossing up, but I'll stick with Relentless Voyager.
Look, I'm going to be having 2 bets in this race. They're going to be on both the imports, Saganti and Relentless Voyager. Saganti was a couple of lengths off a horse named Delius. If you don't know that name, punters, you'll probably know it come autumn. Apparently, it's coming out to Australia in the autumn time because it's been bought by Yulong, I want to say, or maybe one of the other big breeder syndicates. And who knows, that could be our next big boom import that comes down and shows us how we get it done. So that's good form to go off. But I really want to be with Relentless Voyager here. It was going to be close to my best of the day before I decided to have a 2-player. I can't say it's my best bet of the day if I'm also playing another horse in the race, but I'm very keen on its chances. I'll tell you why, Nick. The last race it was in was I believe it was called the Ebor Handicap. It's a very good race over in England. I don't know a lot about European racing, but apparently it's a very good race. And the form has certainly stacked up. The Bendigo Cup winner today. Now that I say it, I've forgotten its name. Sea King. Won with a leg in the air. Absolute leg in the air, first up in Australia. Last Wednesday, Geelong Cup, One Smooth Operator. Won with its leg in the air. That was in that race as well. So clearly that form is good form for Australian racing. First up, import on the debut in Australia, coming out of the Ebor. Relentless Voyager, it's $6 to win, $2 to 30. Gimme. I'll be having quite big bets on both of those horses. Like I said, I'm very keen on Relentless Voyager. It would have been my best of the day if I didn't also want to play Saganti in the race, but it'll be my main tip.
Fair enough.
We move over to Flemington. We'll leave the Golden Eagle for last. We have the Race 6 Coolmore Stud Stakes. This is my race. This is Osmosis race, bro. I love this race. It's forget Derby Day. It's Coolmore Stud Stakes Day. Look at this field. Incredible. You got Growing Empire. You got Traffic Warden. You got Lady of Camelot. You got Coleman. You got Switzerland. You got First Settler. Gatsby's. Yoshinobu. Bellatrix Star. The list goes on. Who have you got and why?
It's tough not to be with Growing Empire, I think. I'll go with Growing Empire. I really liked his run in the Everest. I thought it was pretty good. 3rd place, obviously getting a lot of prize money there as well. Been faultless apart from that run, I'd say, except for a Craig Williams blunder. But looks very good. I've got to be with it. $3.60 is a price I can have it at as well.
Yeah, look, I've been tossing and turning with this race. I'll be very happy if Growing Empire gets up. It does deserve it. It's been the boom 3-year-old all spring. It's also Everest Place, so that's got to be the number 1 sprinting form you can get in the country. But I'll split from you here. I'll let you have Growing Empire because there was another horse that I wanted to potentially cover if you didn't, because Switzerland piques my interest.
That was the other one I was weighing.
J-Mac goes to Melbourne, I think specifically to ride this horse, you'd think. This in a tissue, because I know he's a big he's a big Melbourne Cup carnival guy. He usually rides there every year anyways, let alone whatever's going down at Rosehill. But he would have been on Jolly Star, which is second favourite in a $10 million race. So clearly he thinks he's better off going to race for these 3 big Group 1s down in Melbourne and being on a Switzerland. Maybe he's got a stud deal. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just thinks it's better than Jolly Star. But either way, I still think that's a big telling point. Switzerland was brilliant in its last start. Almost pipped Stormboy for that Everest spot. I just think if it doesn't fall flat on its face the last time it went to a grand final, it can certainly feature in the finish. And at $5.50, I'll be happy to have it.
Cool.
We will go to the Derby, 2,500 metres. Of course, it's one of the traditionalist races. I don't love this race. Take your pick in this race. It's usually all very, very even horses. Horses can come out of nowhere to win this race. Form's very hard to read going into this race. You often have horses that win this, then go on to do nothing. Johnny Get Angry says hello. But, I mean, traditionalists love it. My girlfriend's going down to watch it because her family are racing traditionalists, so I hope they have a really good time down there. But who are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think El Costello will be tough from that 18th barrier. That makes it harder. I think it was a good win last start over Swift Falcon that I was pretty fond of. And then also beat Swift Falcon the race before. Gold Rush Guru as well looked all right for me, but that barrier kind of concerned me a little bit. I'm going with Saint Emilion. 2 wins, $14, $3.70 for a place. It's looking pretty good for me. I'm going to go with a bit more value in this race because anyone, I think, can get up.
It's a very open race. El Costello drawing the widest barrier makes it very, very open.
Yeah, agreed.
Anything else to say? Or that's why I'm on China Sea. Look, I mean, again, it's take your pick. It's a bit of a dartboard race here. Mark Zara, he knows how to get it done in these sort of staying races. Had the best final 600 metres of the day last start. Only just missed behind King of Wall Street. So, I mean, look, like I said, it's a very hard race to pick. At $15 to win, $3.60 to place, I'd love it to get up. El Costello will be hard to beat, but I just think I can't have him from that 18th barrier. So hopefully China Sea at least runs a placing, if not wins for me in the Derby. I don't think I've ever picked a Derby winner, and hopefully I start this year. But again, very, very hard to pick. Here's a race at race 8 I'm much more keen on here. The Empire Rose. G-Mate. Look at the field here. The best of the girls. You got a Tissue, Amelia's Jewel, Orchestral, Zardozi comes here, then is going to back up on Tuesday, taking the Bart Cummings method, getting those Ks in the legs before she tackles the race on Tuesday. Komochi, Alsafina, list goes on. We love this race as well. We had a big debate about this race when Ice Bath got up, and I believe your form was literally Ice Bath wins, fuck you. And then look what happened.
That one.
But who are your thoughts for this race?
Yeah, look. How dry is it over in Melbourne?
I'll give you one update in just a second. It is meant to rain tomorrow, but it's supposed to be sunny on Friday, sunny on Saturday, and we all know Flemington is the best drying track in all of the country. I would think that it'll be a good 4 soft 5 at the absolute max.
I'll go Amelia's Jewel. Good horse. Look,
this is just the race for a debate for us, isn't it?
But look, your thing was always this horse doesn't like in a professional environment with all the attention on it, right? I thought it did very well at the King's Charles Stakes, coming 5th. Didn't kick up a stink from what we saw. Look, to be fair, we didn't see it parade, but didn't kick up much of a stink from what we saw.
Beat Fangirl home.
I'll
admit that.
And we both agreed this horse loves the dry track. I think the distance is fair. I think good enough form to go off for me is beating Fangirl a couple lengths behind Joel Wolf. Like it's Amelia's Jewel for me. I think this is the race that she's going to get it done. I think a Tissue. I don't know, to be honest. I've been with it so many times, and now that I'm off it, it'll probably win. It probably didn't run terribly behind Brightside. I don't know. Whenever I see this horse, I always think when I've been on it, it's always been wet. I don't know why as well. So I'm going to go Amelia's Jewel anyway, but I know you'll probably take a Tissue. But I think Amelia's Jewel will be mine.
Yeah, look, I'm scared out of my mind for Orchestral, and it's the one reason I didn't make a Tissue my best bet of the day. I'm very keen on it. I just think it wins. You know, it loves the Cup Carnival.
It loves a late win. It
loves to build all prep to a grand final and just get it done. J-Mac, you know, sticks here. You know, ran really well without winning, you know, on a track that probably favoured the leaders when Deny Knowledge got up there. Closed off enough, in my opinion. The fact that it gets back to Flemington, a track that it absolutely adores. I just think at $4.20, a Tissue just gets the job done. Again, I feel like this is one of the horses J-Mac specifically went to Melbourne for instead of riding Jolly Star in a $10 million race. So
When was the last time a tissue won a race? Out of curiosity.
The last time a tissue won a race, that's a good question. I feel like it's the Champions Stakes, but we will confirm it here. The last time she won a race would have been, it was a 1,600 metre over the mile at Flemington.
During
the autumn, yes. A tissue beat Holymans and Ayrton.
I was just wondering because I remember Wallace said that this horse came back the best, and I was wondering if he's just absolutely put the mock on it. It hasn't
that is
won
true.
A race. So when we were in the millions, I don't know if we've mentioned this. We went up and spoke with Chris Wally, who's a real nice guy, and had a lot of time to stop and speak to us, which I know a lot of other trainers didn't. And yeah, he came and said, look, honestly, we asked him how Fangirl was and how a couple others were, and he said, honestly, the best horse to come back was a tissue. So we loaded it for a couple of times and nothing really happened. And yeah, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, won the Blamey Stakes, and then the race before that it won was Champion Stakes last year. Ran second in this race last year before it backed up into the Champion Stakes and won. You wouldn't think it does it again considering Via Sistine is going to be there. So you'd think this is its grand final run here. Chris Waller will probably want it to win here instead of backing it up next week because it won't be winning next week. Okay. All that jibber jabber, we get down to the Golden Eagle, 20 runners to get through. Again, at any point, if you think you know the winner, comment below. You'll go into the draw to win a Dabble merch pack. If it wins, you get 5 entries. Just a comment will get you 1. Mate, it's very interesting, this race, because you would have thought there was only one horse to be on, and it's drawn barrier 17. So we'll see if that's taken us off that horse or if we're sticking by it when it comes to that Japanese Raider. But I'll quickly go through the speed map for the punters that enjoy that sort of thing. So you would think that the leaders will be Lazat and Lake Forest, the 2 European raiders. Apparently they love to lead, and you'd think that they would just do the same here. Ostraka could also potentially be up there on the lead, if not be right off them. War Machine probably also up there. Then you've got a bunch of horses that are going to sit right off them. You've got your Kintyre, your Craig, your Jolly Star, Port Lockroy. Then you'll probably have your Southport Tycoons, your Chrysaors, and depends how far an NCAP or Tom Kitten gets back from those inside barriers. They'll probably get shuffled back a little bit, but they'll be the ones that'll be coming on late here. Key facts and stats, take these with a grain of salt because there's only been 5 of them. I think this is the 5th running of it. All but one winner was a previous Group 1 winner. Only one winner has jumped from a double-digit barrier. 4 of the 5 winners have come from either the Epsom or the Toorak, and only once has the favourite won, but no winners have paid more than $10. Okay, so it's not a favourites race, but it's definitely not a roughies race either. Okay, so pretenders versus contenders, all 20 runners. Here we go. Number 1, Southport Tycoon. Craig Williams jumps on board after it pipped him in the Manicato with Growing Empire, but it comes out of barrier 15 at $11 to win, $3.10 to place. Thoughts?
Pretender early here. Going to get rid of it. I just think unraced at the distance. Looked like it did its best work at that 1200. I know a lot of horses come up to this distance, but I think there's just better options. 15th barrier as well. It's just something I'm not loving right now.
Fair enough. Look, I think if anything's going to win from a wide barrier, it's this year. Remember, of course, nothing had won from a wide barrier in the Everest, but it was only its 7th or 8th running. This is only its 5th running, so those stats definitely need to be taken with a grain of salt. It'll get the distance. It's a 1,600 metre Guineas winner, of course. I've got as a contender, he's beaten his own age group. He's beaten older horses, which is a big telling point for me. He's arguably the most form rider in the country, Craig Williams, after those couple of weeks there where he was blundering left, right and centre. He is winning left, right and centre now. He just needs a clear run to the line, and if he launches, I think he's one of the only horses I can see from that far back in the field being able to catch them here. We move to number 2, V8, McAvoy trained, Coffee rides, out of barrier 18, $51 to win.
Yeah, no chance. I think there's just better options. We can save our time, I think.
He's fallen off a cliff this spring. He looked like a world beater in autumn when he won the George Ryder against older horses. Had him as a contender until the barrier draw. Like I said, I think the wider barrier draws can run well this year, but he's just not going as well to be able to pick up that ground late. So we move to number 3, Tom Kitten, Cummings trained, Melbourne ridden, barrier 2, $9 to win.
The Kitten, $9 to win. Yeah, definite contender. I think has been pretty unlucky this prep. I thought I was on it last start in the King's Charles, so comes back down to the 1500. I think this race just suits a bit better, a bit worse of a field here. It didn't race terribly in the King's Charles. Didn't do great. I think it was fourth. So, yeah, not too bad here. Definitely contender, I think. Drawn pretty well. Can't complain with it. Ben Melham on board. Don't know where that's come from, but look, it is what it is at the end of the day. $9. I would have thought this would be one of the first horses good jockeys would try and hop on for, honestly.
But I mean, it's also Cummings wants to go with the jockey that rides for him usually. So a Melham, a J-Mac's not available. A Jamie Carr's not available. So,
Tommy Berry ran it last start.
True. Tommy Berry's, booked on the, not last start, but it has ridden it before. Tommy Berry rode it in the Epsom, but he's jumped on one of the international raiders. So maybe Ben Melham was, the only one that he could get.
Sorry, the Epsom, not the...
But yeah, so contender?
Yeah, contender.
Yeah, look, I think he's one of the leading contenders and probably the best Aussie horse contender in this race. He's been running around with the Cheerwolves and the Fangirls of the world. How can he not be one of the best chances in this race? Barrier 2, probably not where he wanted to be, as he could get sucked quite a long ways back. But if he can get a clear lane to the line, watch out, because he'll close off very, very fast. Just quickly, I forgot, he's a Jet now. Like, he was already a good horse, but he's a gelding now. Militarized, coming back.
Huge.
Gelding.
Oh,
what?
Can't wait.
What? That's like if Animo got gelded and he's coming back. He was already an absolute phenom, and without his nuts, you just have to think he's going to be quick as fuck.
Yeah, can't wait.
Number 4, Straka, Nation Train, Schofield, ridden, barrier 13, $21 to win.
Contender, I think it's a roughy chance here. It's another one, probably the distance. Hasn't got up, I don't think, over the 1300, but it's been racing pretty good last couple of starts. Can't complain with it so far. We'll go with it here, $21. I'll go contender.
Contender. Look, I had him as a major pretender headed in to this sort of prep when I found out they were going to a Golden Eagle. But he's been rising through the ranks. Again, think about it, Vibes. Just stepping up in grades every single race and just keeps getting it done quite impressively. He's a much better horse than I've given him credit for. So a win wouldn't shock here. Number 5, Griff, Mayo Train, Gibbons ridden, barrier 6, 100 to 1.
Yep. Next.
Best he can do is pick up some nice prize money before heading to stud, you'd think. Number 6, NCAP, Portelli Trade and Collared ridden, out of barrier 1, $23 to win.
Don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I think there's look, if someone said they were on it, by all means, I wouldn't blame you here. I just don't know how it will go this late in its prep. Its last run, I thought it was a good chance where it probably should have done a bit better in that race. I know it only fell just under 2 lengths behind, but honestly, if it needs to win that race to win this field, I think. So the amount of international ones that come over, I think there's better chances. I'll go contender just in case, but I think there's better options, but I don't mind it for a value play if you really want to be rough.
Look, I think pretender here, he's the one that I'm most scared about calling a pretender. I just think the draw's done him in here in barrier 1. He's a great horse. I love the horse. Don't get me wrong. If he gets a clear lane, watch out. I just don't think he will. I think he'll get shuffled all the way back here from that first barrier and just will get stuck in a lot of traffic, as a lot of horses do in this race. 20 horses at Rosehill is a really big field, and they all spread out and they all get really, they all bunch up, and then once they spread, there's not many gaps to come into. So I just don't think he's going to get a clear run to the line here. Hence, I'm going pretender. Might flash home for a place. Number 7, Zidaki, Snowden Train, Sherry ridden, out of barrier 10.
Pretender.
Call me crazy. I think he's probably one of the best roughies in the race. He is a pretender because I don't think he'll win. A win probably would surprise me, but he's definitely one that I would include in your wider exotics punters because, he's drawn really, really well. He can sit off the pace and he can fall into the placings, especially if the track's playing towards the leaders, because he'll be up on that pace. I'd include him in your wider first fours, but I just don't think he can get the job done win-wise. Number 8, Chrysaor, Waller Train, Bayless ridden, barrier 14, 100 to 1.
Yeah, come on, man. Save my time, brother.
Yeah. Comes out of the Epsom, which is a plus, but the horse sucks, which is a negative, so it won't be winning. Number 9, Kintyre. The amount of expletives I've used on this horse in prior times. Portelli trained, Jones ridden, barrier 3, 80-1.
No chance there. Yeah, no
He can barely win benchmark races, let alone this. Number 10, War Machine. Maroney and Thompson trained, Ford ridden, number 7th barrier, 41 to win. Pretender or contender?
I backed this horse last week.
Yeah, you did in the Silver Eagle, and it ran really nicely.
Yeah, no chance. It's got to do a bit better there. So, yeah, I just think there's better chances, to be honest.
Very similar to Zadaki, calling it a pretender, but keep betting your wider exotics. So a place would be far thing from a shock, and he'd send the value of those trifectas and first fours shooting up there because, again, he'll probably be up on pace, and if the track's playing towards the leaders, might fall into the placings there. Number 11, Port Lockroy, Neesham trained, Hippo to ride, barrier 9, 81 to dollars to win.
Yeah, better chances again.
Nope, let's move on. Number 12, Lazet. Rainier, I feel like that's how you pronounce it. Antonio Rani to ride from Europe, I believe. Barrier 12, $5.50 to win, $2 to place.
Looks good. Looks good. One of the international ones that, I mean, looks awesome. Unbeaten in its career.
6 from 6.
And 3 of them at this distance, as well as covering every type of track. So if the odd rain comes, it's even better for it. And looking at that, I went and looked at some of the times it's run.
Times, look at you.
Yeah, it's gone to that level these days. But yeah, it ran pretty much identical times to what's been winning this Golden Eagle in the past on heavy tracks. So I don't know what that you want to read into that a little bit. It's running just as fast when the track's pretty wet, where it's harder to run fast. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing. I'm impressed. This is the deepest analysis I think I've ever seen you make.
You need to stop laughing at me, man.
I'm proud of you. I've never seen you jump into the timings, but that's huge.
I jump into it sometimes, but I just don't like. I don't have extensive notes where I like the sectionals better than I like the actual timings.
I'm a big sectionals guy. Full race times I don't usually look at, but yeah, that's a big thing. I did not pick up on that, but 6 from 6 can ride the speed, could even be the leader. I really like it when internationals come out and they bring the whole team instead of just like getting a jockey on that doesn't know it well, as if they came out here and got Hippo to jump on it. And like, he's not a bad jockey, don't get me wrong, but when you get, the full European team out here, this is the jockey that's been riding it its whole career and he follows him out here, they must be confident. 100% can win. He just needs to be able to bring his A game. If he's settled into Australia well, 100% can win here. Number 13, Craig. Butterson and Young to train. Nash to ride. Barrier 5, $18 to win.
Yeah, no thanks. Fell behind Antino in, I think it was that good run. But yeah, I just think it's suited to better races. I don't think it'll get it done here.
I've got it as a contender. It's a perennial non-winner, but has never run a bad race. Nash on board is huge. He'll be throwing the kitchen sink at it. He'll do everything in his power to get it over the line. If he's ever going to win a race, here it is, I think, with Nash on board. So, yeah, Craig is a definite winning chance in my mind as we move to number 14, another international raider, Lake Forest. Haggis trains. Kieran Fallon, I believe, is how you pronounce that. But with Irish people, you never know with how they pronounce their names. Barrier 8, $31 to win. Thoughts on this one, mate?
Look... you've got no form on it. I don't think it's run past the 1200.
He's a sprinter. He's a pure sprinter.
Look, I'll go contender just because this is the type of race where you do see sprinters can do well in. Like you see Jolly Star, Steffi, Magnetica backing up from the Everest here.
But are they sprinters or are they more inclined to a race like this, but they were forced to sprint for the Everest?
That's a good point, I guess. I wish I win one.
That's the one I would look at more. The I wish I win. He was a miler at this point and then became a hell of a sprinter. So you can see that range of horse get it done in this race.
What's you hated the horse. I can't even think. It's, Purple Silks. You hated it. I've had a blank.
Is this from last year's race or?
It runs at the. Don't worry, it's fine.
That's gonna bug me now.
Really
Espiona.
Espiona as well. Sprinted, but could get up to the 1500 was its distance, but could get to the sprint as well. So, look, out of every kind of horse to get it done at the 1500, I'd rather a sprint horse come across from Europe because they kind of go hand in hand more often than I'd say a 1600 would go to a 2000, like a bright side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll go contender, where I'll give it a chance. It hasn't been great, but yeah, I think runner up, Group 1 earlier this year in Royal Ascot.
Yep.
But yeah, good price, $31. It's the only way that I'd call it a contender was with that price. So.
Yeah, look, he's a sprinter by trade, but Haggis would not have brought him if he didn't think he could get the distance. So I wouldn't pen him just on the fact that the distance could be a query, but he just wouldn't be here. Haggis is not an idiot. He doesn't bring horses to Australia that he doesn't think can win. He's bought many before. They've all performed well, so you have to respect him. Number 15, Steffi Magnetica, Bjorn Trains, Lloyd's sticking on from the Everest here at barrier 4, $10 to win.
Didn't think it was bad in the Everest. I thought did all right. It was a good field where I thought everyone had their chance to win, and your worst runner was I Wish I Win, I think, and still didn't race terribly. It only would have fallen a couple lengths behind, right? 2.5 lengths behind, coming ninth out of 11. So, look, I'll go contender. I gave it a contender, I think, for the Everest. So I do think this horse can get it done, and Zach Lloyd staying on board is a massive bonus, I think. A lot of trainers can blame it on a jockey, and to see it stick for another big race is usually positive signs, I think.
She's a Stradbroke winner, so the distance shouldn't be an issue, punters. I think she's looking for it now. I think she's more of a 1400, 1500, 1600 metre horse rather than a sprinter. Again, just needs a clear under the line. She can often run into traffic here. She is one of those horses that can run into traffic, but she has the turn of foot to win this. She's one of those ones that if she gets a little far back, which she probably should, like a Southport Tycoon, she does have the turn of foot to be able to swoop these. So I will say contender. Number 16, Jolly Star, was a one-time favourite of this race, but is trading it with the Japanese Raider, currently at $5 to win here, while trained McAvoy will ride because J-Mac's down in Melbourne. Thoughts?
Oh, look, it's tough. I'm not going to touch it at this price. I think if it was closer to Steffi's odds, it's pretty much got the same form. I did think it ran better home. It was probably one of the faster ones running home at the Everest. Just didn't get that clear day. But it just hasn't looked the same since that first up win, I think. It hasn't looked as good. I just can't touch it at that price. It's a contender, obviously, but for a betting point of view, I can't have my money on it.
I could copy and paste your answer, really. I could also copy and paste my answer from what I said about Steffi. Running on really well in the Everest. I think she's looking for this distance now.
I think she ran on probably one of the best in the Everest.
I think, she was the best closer in the Everest. Will be red hot, ready to go for this, you would think. Just needs a clear lane to the line to feature. Does she get it? Who knows? But certainly a chance here, so you can't for a second call her a pretender. Here's a horse we can call a pretender, though. Macarena, Hawks to train, Schiller to ride, barrier 20, 46 to win.
I'd love it for Tyler, but he won't get it done. Not a good enough horse. Skybird as well. We'll just keep it pretty simple, mate. 2 pretenders straight out.
Yeah, they're great horses. They can win on their day. This will not be their day. They're just not good enough to get a win in this field. We move to number 19, Ascoli Pacino. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that trainer's name, but Yao Moreira rides at $4.20 to win currently.
Karoiwa.
Jeez. Someone's calling me. Sorry, punters. Kuriwa. Ugh. But yeah, $4.20 favourite currently. Nick, apparently this horse is...
Turn your phone on silent,
Jeez.
mate.
I'm sorry, punters. I don't know what's going on here.
Popular boy.
Yeah, I am a popular boy. It's not usually the case. Usually you're the one getting the messages. Ascoli Pacino. Apparently she is Japan's best miler. No matter the distance. No matter the age. No matter the gender. Boy, girl, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. This is apparently Japan's best miler no matter what. So you would have to think on that, she just gets this done, right? She was better than Oban Burumai was, and Oban Burumai came out and won this pretty impressively last year. The only spanner in the works is that 17th barrier. Has that scared you away, Nick, or are you sticking fat with the Japanese like you did last year?
Contender. Yeah, I'm really liking him. I'm a big Japanese guy.
You love the Japanese horses.
Oban was good enough for me last start, but I'm happy that I think this horse can get it done from the 17th. I know we've been sticking away from it a lot, but this is talented horse. Where I reckon it's probably helped the price. It will get smashed by the Japanese and the Hong Kongians of the world.
You would think so.
But I'll take it. Contender.
Can she get a clear lane to the line? Best horse in the race by a mile, but she just needs to do it the tough way and rely on the class of her ability and an expert steer from jockey Yao Moreira. We know he is an expert jockey. If he can get her clear late, could be all but over. It just rests on that, in my opinion. Contender for sure. You just need to be able to be ready to dive in at a $4.20 price tag when at that barrier, you're purely relying on if she can get a gap to the line. Because if she's stuck in traffic, I think, it's all but over. But if she gets a gap, watch out late.
Fair enough.
We move to the final. Horse the field. Berry's going to ride this final Japanese raider. Corazon Beat. Kato trains, 61 to win, $10.50 to place. Mate, it's out of barrier 19, so it's right out there with Ascoli Pacino. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, look, yeah, I don't know why Tommy's on this one. Honestly, if I had the choice and I was Tommy, I would have taken the kitten. But look, he might not have had that choice, so he probably heard, Japanese import. Let's see how it goes. But this horse doesn't look like it's gone too well in the last couple runs. So finishing at the back end of the field behind, it's come behind this favourite.
9 lengths behind the favourite.
Oh, in a run earlier, it says it's come third, 1.6 lengths behind.
That's better.
So, but I'll go Pretender. Just snap it out.
Again, if this was drawn better, I would say it had the opportunity to turn the tables on the favourite here. But the fact that it's drawn out there with place maybe, because maybe the Japanese form is just that good, even though you're 9 lengths off her. You said that was closer in some other runs, but needs to find a way to turn the tables on the favourite. Don't think it'll be able to, so Pretender, but definitely include in your exotics. And if it did place, a $10.75 to place would genuinely get you some very nice value there in your exotics. So we come to the end here, mate. Out of all those 20 horses, who have you found? Who are you putting your money on and why?
I'm going with Lazat. Lazat out of the 12th barrier is the one I'm going to go for. $5.50 at the moment. Just won't get smashed as much as I think the other horses will. Barrier's not too bad. Yeah, I'm going to go with it here. That's my winner. First 4 across the line. I'll go Lazat, Ascoli Pacino, Tommy Kitten, and then I'll put Lake Forest in there as well.
Interesting.
I think Lake Forest will be a bit of a Storm Boy vibe. Lead early, and then it'll get swooped, but it'll hang on for 4th.
Fair enough. I'm almost a carbon copy of you, mate. I'm on Lazat as well.
Wow.
My first 4 across the lines, Lazat, Ascoli Pacino, Tom Kitten, and then Craig to run 4th.
I like it.
But yeah, Lazat.
Maybe we just take a trifecta play then, mate.
Yeah, I know. Hey, our trifecta. If we've picked that,
head on.
You're welcome. But yeah, I just think 6 from 6 will be up on pace. Shouldn't be caught in traffic unless it misses a jump because it's drawn perfectly in barrier 12. According to you, it's run the exact same times as previous winners on heavies, so we get a good track. It's proven on all the tracks.
I think it's a 2.5 seconds behind or something like that, but still, it's on a heavy track.
That's still very good considering heavy compared to good. Yeah, Lazat, $5.50 to win, $2 to place. I think that's the first time we've ever been on the same horse in the Golden Eagle. Hopefully we cheer at home, and if it gets up, you'll probably hear us on the cameras because we've got quite a few boys with us. Quite a few of them will be on it now that we've tipped it. We'll get very loud.
Shout out to the boys. Not a lot of them will listen to this because we're going to the races. 16 of us, I think.
We got loud last year when Oban Burumai won.
Oh my
This will top it, considering there's most of the people with us are going to be on it now that we've both said it's going to win.
100%. Another thing we didn't mention, we're doing a double stream on Saturday morning.
Oh my God, yes. Golden Eagle Day, Derby Day.
We're doing a big stream on Saturday, lots of chat. So get on Dabble. I know most of you that follow us are on it. Go have a look. I think we started 11:30. We moved it because we're going straight trackside. We might even be suited up. We probably will be suited up.
Yeah, we'll be suited and booted. Don't you worry about that.
Suited up, ready to go. But if you want to listen to some more stuff, a couple live stuff, and obviously there's other perks that we have on there as well that you can go and check out on Saturday. So awesome.
Yep. Use code MOCSports. Let them know we sent you when signing up. Gamble responsibly and set a deposit limit when doing so. And on the mention of Dabble for the final time, comment below who you think is going to win the Golden Eagle, because this Sunday we're going to be going live runner by runner for the Melbourne Cup, and we will be drawing the winner out for that merchandise pack. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great stream. We've got a lot of live streams coming up this weekend, mate. Busy boys. All right, have you found anything around the country away from the big races of the day?
Look, it's tough. I think I have to stick with Two Done Lizzie is my only one. $11. One last start.
Won us a lot of money.
I'll go Two Done Lizzie is my only tip, and the rest of them will be on the double stream.
Fair enough. I've tipped almost all the entire Flemington card here. I've got Lizzie in the second at Flemington. In the fourth, I've got Mighty Ulysses at $7 to win $2.50. Another horse that's paid us quite good in the past. Thank you to Annabelle Nation for tipping us into that one all the way back in January. Flemington Race 5, Powers of Opal, $2.80. Flemington Race 9, Sands Doot, $6.50, $2.30. So considering I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm only missing races 1 and 3 there at Flemington. So hopefully I absolutely hit the nail on the head and we have a very, very profitable day on Saturday across Rosehill and Flemington. Mate, of course, we need to hit a quaddie. We've been chasing them for the last few weeks. Unfortunately, we just keep coming up slightly short. Let's hit it, mate.
So race 7, we've got Bella Nip, I Am Me, and then we'll go King of Sparta, and then we'll also grab Marzu, just in case. So that is 2, 3, 6, 12. Race number 8, we have got Lazat and Ascolio Peroni. We'll just take our first 4 across the line there. So that was Pacino, sorry. So 3, Tom Kitten, Lazat 12, Ascoli, Pacino 19, and then who do you want, mate? We'll go Jolly Star
just in case.
Number
Jolly
16.
Star, yes.
So I'll go one more time with the numbers. That is 3, 12, 16, and 19. Race 9, we have Relentless Voyager and Sagati. That is number 4 and 10.
We'll
and then
put in Faulkner Park as well, just in case.
And we'll put Hinged in as well, number 8. So that's 1, 4, 8, 10. 1, 4,
Lovely.
8, 10. And then we move to the last one. We've got Battleton and Captain Fury, as well as my tip, which was Mountain Top. And then you can pick one more, mate.
Let's go Dazzle Legend.
All right. So we've got 1, 12,
1, 7, 11, 12.
1, 7, 11, 12.
$50 to get you 19.5%. Sorry, we're slowing down, punters. We're getting very hot in this room of the studios of ours.
You're a fucking fan. Oh my God.
But
Whose
yes.
house is this? It's my house.
All right, let's finish it off now with our best bets around the country. Are you going to Flemington? Are you staying at Rosehill? Are you going to Ascot? Where are you going?
Growing Empire, cool starts 1,200 metre, $3.60. Honestly, I'm not very confident on much on this weekend where I've gone for a best bet. This is the one I'm most confident in. I reckon this is the least confident in a best bet I've been in saying that. I still think it wins. I struggled to find one.
Yeah, Bella Nipotina. Like I said, there was a few horses that was almost the case. A Tissue almost was my best bet. Relentless Voyager was almost my best bet. But Bella Nipotina, she's just the most consistent horse in the country. You just have to think that she gets the job done here. Does she fly off into the sunset after this? It remains to be seen. But gets the job done. Rosehill Race 7. Bella Nipotina at $2.50 is my best around the country.
Huge.
All right, quick shout out to the sponsors. Nicko's repping both of our sponsors merch there with Stridyl and Dabble.
Yep.
Stridyl.com if you want to get involved in some horse ownership opportunities. Also, pay attention to @Stridyl across socials. They're over in America for the Breeders' Cup at the moment, following Rachel King over there. So that's going to be really cool content. We've also got an interview dropping with them in the next couple of weeks. And then Dabble, we've already mentioned, code Mock Sports when signing up to let them know we sent you. Use a deposit limit. Think about what you could be buying instead and gamble responsibly. Nick, oh my God, very, very busy weekend for the Mocks. Hopefully we come out of it on top. But remember, Sunday. The timing will come out later, but we will be live streaming our Melbourne Cup preview.
In the afternoon, I'm playing golf during the day, so we're going to probably in the afternoon, probably around this time, 6 o'clock, 6, 7-ish, where we'll get it out. And then, Melbourne Cup. So if you want to have a look at that, that'll be out on Sunday. If not, we'll see you on the Dabble stream Saturday morning. If not, if you're heading out to the track, come say hi. Apart from that, good luck this weekend. Do what you have to do. Bet well. Do what you have to. Good luck. Derby Day.